Thank you very much, my brother Stephen Mbide, for that wonderful traffic update. If you're still at home, you now know best how to veer the, rowdy roads this beautiful Tuesday morning. But as it is, we're getting into the business update. Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic. Well, the Monitor Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic is on. And to tell us more about this, I do have Tadeo Twahira. He is the Senior Relationship Manager at NSSF. And I also have Melissa Nyakwera, the Manager Agriculture at Stanbic. Both of whom join me right now in studio. Very good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Melissa, I'll start with you. Stanbic Bank has positioned itself as the go-to bank for many of the farmers in this country. So how do these farm clinic programs actually help you as Stanbic Bank achieve your objectives?
Oh, okay. So this is the second year we're running with the farm.
Second year.
Yes, farm
right.
clinics. And
thank you for supporting.
No,
yes.
We are going to continue to support this sector, and
yes.
the reason for that is because the agriculture sector is a very big sector. It employs about 65% of Ugandans, contributes 23% to GDP, and as such, we cannot ignore the sector. But COVID-19 has also taught us something, and that is that we really need to develop our local supply chains if we are looking to produce more local imports, produce more local goods, such that we can, be less reliant on imports. And so this farm clinics provides a platform whereby there's knowledge imparted to the farmers so that they, in turn, are able to perform better. And as such...
So the focus too much is import substitution?
Yes, we
right.
need to be more self-sufficient. Yes.
So how does all this help you satisfy your target audience?
Our target audience is the whole agriculture value chain.
Yeah.
So we are looking to support the individual farmer and commercial farmer. We're looking to support the input providers. It could be fertilizers, it could be pesticides, it could be input producers. So all those, and then we're also looking to support the processors who we believe are partner or take part in this forum. And so it's to tell them and showcase that we are, as a bank, are very open to supporting these groups of people. Yes.
All right. However, Mr. Tadeo Twahira, let's talk about the NSSF and what you're doing to help these farmers. We understand that the farmers belong to a category of people who do not actually, who feel like they're not being captured by the savings or pension culture. Yes. And we also understand that NSSF has the voluntary contribution structure. How does this work, and how can interested farmers join?
Oh, thank you very much, and good morning, viewers. First of all, NSSF came big into the agriculture sector, into what we call the Uganda Yield Investment Fund, and we put in a lot of money. That fund has grown to a tune of around 85 billion now, where we are giving an opportunity for farmers who have cooperatives that are functional to come and get capital so that they can take their farming to the next level. Now, because of that, for the last 4 years, we have been partnering with Monitor in the Seeds of Gold exhibitions to try and lure these farmers into saving with NSSF. We started a voluntary contribution scheme like 5 years ago, which is a scheme that is ordinarily provided for in the law, but its major intention is to capture people who are not ordinarily employed by mandatory employers to also have an opportunity to save for their retirement. Now, this category of people, we have looked at, we continue to interview our members, especially those ones that are exiting the main NSSF. Unfortunately, 20% of them are telling us that they are going to go into agriculture as a business entity. So, however, remember, retiring into formal employment is not a death sentence. It means life is going to continue. So you also need to continue saving, because at 50, where we pay most of the customers, they still have another 30 or 20 years to live, and they are still active. So we give them an opportunity and a platform to continue saving with us. So why we partner with the Seeds of Gold is to now go and take this message down to the farmers so that they know that yes, today they are energetic and working, but remember, farming is a very tiresome activity, and as they age, they are not going to have an opportunity to do the same activity. So they need to put their money into a safer investment, which is going to give them some passive income when they retire. And it's an opportunity we are giving them to do it as easily as possible, because now at their farm, they can actually choose to pay as little as 20,000 shillings per month. And if that over time accumulates on their account and the good interest that we give them, we really expect that by the time this farmer gets to, say, 50 or 60 years, he will have something reasonable to retire on, so that at the end of the day, these 65% people who are in the agricultural sector, when they come and retire with you, has been in formal employment, their life is not miserable. And also to give an opportunity for young people to look at a farmer as a job, so that because there are so many people who are also who are jobless, yet they have land in the village, but because they have constantly seen farmers as suffering people. Now, if we uplift their status by including them into these financial products, probably the next generation will also look at farmer as a viable opportunity.
All right, Tadeo, how can interested parties or farmers get to join? Yeah,
one of the opportunities we have given them is they just need to call us. We have a toll-free line, 0800-286-773. And they call us and say, I am here and I want to start to save.
0800-286-773.
Yes. All right. So we do that, and we have a network of branches across the country. They just get into the NSSF branch and say, I want to start to contribute with NSSF, and we give them that opportunity.
All right, Melissa, what procedure does a farmer follow to get a prospective agricultural loan from Stanbic? So
a farmer would need to, so I'll just maybe speak through what one requires in order to acquire a loan. We need your national ID, identification, if you're Ugandan, or a passport copy. You need to have a good credit history. That's key. We need to have a good understanding of what it is you want to use the funding for, so we can help structure a facility that befits the purpose. We need, if you are looking to borrow for more than 1 year, a facility of more than 1 year, we will need your cash flow projections. And the reason why we ask for cash flow projections is to just ensure that you will be able to pay that facility or the loan off without encumbering yourself or hurting you or failing to meet your other obligations. So that's what's key about the cash flows. The loan, depending on what type it is, could be secured or unsecured. And I'll just touch a little bit on each of those. In terms of the secured, really depends on your, it also is dependent on the risk, but also it depends on the risk, the loan you are taking. For example, we have the asset financing, vehicle and asset financing facility, in which case, for example, if you want to buy a tractor, the tractor itself would be the security. So that's one way of looking at it. We have instances where you are maybe a trader in agriculture and are looking or are building stocks to supply into a big contract. We have what we call inventory finance. So that part of that stock, the stock can be part of, can be taken on as part of the security.
How much is the loan limit?
The loan limit, we don't have a loan limit per se. We want to be inclusive of everybody. So the minimum threshold is, there's no minimum. And then on the maximum side, it really is dependent on our capital as a bank. We have a single obligor limit, and that limit is beyond $60 million now, so it shouldn't be a problem for...
Beyond $60 million.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Melissa. And finally, Mr. Tadeo, what has been the general response from members of the public so far in response to the participation in this voluntary benefit? And what is your target as NSSF as a wrap-up?
Okay, so far where we are now, we have around 28,000 voluntary contributors, but for this particular cause, we continue to monitor those ones who are specifically in the agricultural sector. They have hit 5,000. We think by the next 3 years, we should have around 10,000 voluntary contributors from the agricultural sector, and also to try and support them, because while we do financial literacy, one of the things we want to teach them is to get alternative investments because their compliance has been low. How can we stimulate that compliance so that as they grow in number, also their value grows, and therefore we are more able to partner with them and give them support in the work they do. So we think that this target is achievable as we continue to participate in this exhibition, which gives us an ample opportunity to actually interact with the farmers in the country.
Mr. Tadeo right there, and Melissa, many thanks for having made the time to speak to NTV. Now I know I need a national ID, and I also know that there's a voluntary benefit scheme for so many people, Ugandans out there. Even if I'm not in formal employment,
you can
yes, I can still remit some of the pension right there.
Yes.
Thank you, Melissa, also.
But
the national ID issue has to be, interrogated. So many Ugandans in this country do not have national IDs. So that means they are being sidelined as far as financial, rescues are concerned. What do you make of that?
I would say we need to know who you are.
Maybe a work ID, maybe area ID.
National ID is formally.
Indeed. Yeah. Melissa right there, and today you're still watching Morning at NTV. We are now going to go to our correspondent. That is Mr. Scovin Iseta. He has some real